That need for all staff to know children has been very much part of the design of our school. So at Matford Brook Academy, our motto is that we write our story, and our mission is to provide an excellent author education that empowers children to believe they can and should change the world around them. So for us, I was very fortunate to visit various schools. Hearing children call teachers by their first name was a big shift for us. It felt like an ideological shift, but we did it, and actually the difference that has made has been really significant. I think the innate fear is that you will lose some kind of respect, you will lose some kind of management of the culture, and actually what we found instead is it's so relationships driven that when we're working with our pupils, having staff called by their first names immediately brings you into a level where you are connecting with the individual, not just a group of children. So that has been really fundamental for us. We also have designed our day so that we have those opportunities to see children, not just within the classroom, but to really focus on them as an individual. So throughout the school day, children have 4 opportunities when we come together. We ask a lot from our staff because we believe that building relationships with children and their families is as important to excellence in the classroom. And actually to work at Matford Brook Academy, you have to value both. And so we have deliberate practice for our teaching pedagogy, but we also have deliberate practice that is around what does a meeting look like with a family? How can we make these low stakes? How can we go out into the community? How do I make that first phone call? How do I build a connection with the family too? We're really deliberate about how we construct those relationships with our families and therefore the children that we work with. It's a legitimate question about that idea of friendship as well, because there's reasonable questions about that professional boundary and making sure we still have children have to feel safe in school, and so adults ultimately have to be able to show and uphold those boundaries as well. But relationship is the word that is our driver. It is about building relationship, and actually relationships happen whether you're intentional about them or not. So you can be an excellent geography teacher, you will still have a relationship with the children that are in your class, whether you are deliberate about crafting that or whether that just happens incidentally as you're going through. So I think that's the first challenge that we would really share is actually what relationship do you want to have? But then it does come back to that question about what belonging means in the first place. Because if those 3 pillars, if that feeling of safety, that feeling of success and that feeling of connection are achieved, that's when that academic excellence, that's when they really can engage with continental drift. For children who experience disadvantage, this is even more important, and we know that gap continues to grow, and actually we have to disrupt that, and we talk about this as a disruption to the norm. If you're going to work at Matford Brook Academy, you do have to value that. You don't necessarily have to feel confident about it to begin with, because it is different, that intentional relationship building. We will help you with that, but you do have to value it and you do have to believe it's important. It's a really good question, and I think this is one of the unique, exciting and terrifying aspects of opening a new school. We're very research-led. We spend a lot of time looking at research. We spend a lot of time visiting schools, speaking to colleagues that have had similar or completely different experiences. I do absolutely believe that our children will have excellent academic outcomes because of this work. But that isn't the fundamental reason for it, because again, that comes back to that sense of belonging in the first place. If I feel safe, if I feel successful, if I feel connected, those are drivers, those are important in and of themselves. And if you speak to families, that is what they want for their children. They want their children to feel safe, connected and successful. Academic success is really important. We're really aspirational for our pupils. We want them to go to university or another aspirational equivalent. But that isn't the reason why we're relationships driven. We're relationships driven because we believe that supports our pupils to feel safe and successful and connected in school. And successful can be defined in different ways. If you start looking at some measures, our attendance is high. We're really proud of that. I do think a lot of that is to do with that sense of belonging, but that's a feeling of success. I feel successful coming to school. They have so many opportunities throughout the day to have that soft success that isn't just about their end of cycle assessments as well. So I think there's a variety of ways that success can be felt and experienced.